Hello everyone, this is Charul C Jaitly, the co-founder and managing partner of Mātiti People. Mātiti People is a part of Mātiti Group. And as most of you already know, I had promised 10 days of action-packed content here. And today is the 8th day and we are ringing in New Year 2021 in style, immersing ourselves in the joy of giving. The last few days, the theme has been morals through storytelling. And today I'm back with a very, very interesting, simple, yet highly compelling story, which is something that I learned when I was a little girl. In the last few days, I've been thinking, pondering, and picking up on all the stories that my grandma, my mother, my aunts during our summer holidays would read to us, the bedtime stories and other stories. So this is one of those stories very close to my heart and I think is quite purposeful given what's happening around us nowadays. So the story is called A Man with a Goat. Once upon a time, there was a priest who lived in a very, very small village. He was an innocent and simple person, and he used to go to people's house to perform religious rituals. On one occasion, he got called by this wealthy man who really liked his rituals and his services and rewarded him with a goat. The priest was very happy to have received goat as a reward because this was the first time he received such a big reward. He was very happy. He slung the goat over his shoulder and he began to walk back towards his home. His home was almost an hour and a half long walk. And while he walked, he passed through a place where there were 3 cheats or thugs who were seated, and they saw the priest taking the goat. Now all of them were lazy and they wanted to cheat the priest. These were lazy, uncouth and not well-mannered thugs and cheats. They just saw an opportunity here and they decided that they want to cheat the priest so they could take away the goat. So all 3 of them said to themselves, "This goat looks like a delicious meal. Let's figure out how we can take it from the priest." Now they discussed the matter among themselves and came up with a plan, and they decided to fool the priest. So after they decided the plan, they separated and went in 3 different directions in 3 different hiding positions. And these 3 different places were on the way of the priest. As soon as priest arrived at a place which was a little bit lonely, one of the thugs came out of his hiding place and he looked at the priest in a very shocking way. So the priest asked him, "Why are you looking at me like that?" He's like, "I don't understand. You look like a good man. You look like a pious man. Why would you carry a dog on your shoulder?" The priest was a humble man and he was also a simple man. He probably understood that the guy in front of him cannot see clearly, and he offered him to take another look at the goat which was on his back. The person screamed and said, "Oh, I see a dog. I'm not sure, why are you calling it a goat?" And said, "Sir, I beg your pardon. I told you what I saw. I'm sorry if you don't believe it, and I will let you, carry on." The priest was a little startled, but he looked at his goat. He was happy to have the goat on his back and he continued with his journey once again. Now he had barely walked another 20 minutes when the other cheat, the second one, came out of his hiding place, walks up to the priest and literally totally startled and shocked says, "Oh dear Lord, you look like a priest. Why would you carry a dead calf on your shoulders? You look like a wise man. Why would you do such an act?" Now the priest was starting to lose his cool by now, and he looked at his goat again and he's like, "Can't you see? This is a live goat and not a dead calf." The second thug replied, "You seem to be highly mistaken in this regard. Either you don't know what a goat looks like or you're doing it purposely. Any which ways, what I saw I told you. I'll go my way and you can carry your dead calf with you." Now the priest was starting to lose his cool by now. He was confused and he was starting to get angry. as he continued to walk further. In another 15-20 minutes, the third thug came out of the hiding place and showed up in front of him, totally startled, almost screaming and saying, "Oh my God, you are a priest and you decide to carry a donkey on your shoulders?" With that, he started to laugh out loud. Now, hearing those words this time around, the priest really lost it. He was angry, he was confused, and now he got worried. He started thinking, is this really a goat? Or is it some kind of a ghost I'm carrying on my shoulder? That nobody can see a goat on my back, but they see everything else. He now started to think, the priest, that the animal he was carrying on his shoulder really is some sort of ghost, because it transformed itself from goat into a dog, from a dog to a dead calf, and now from dead calf into a donkey. The priest almost got frightened, and he got frightened to such an extent he hurled the goat on the roadside and literally ran away. The three pranksters, the three thugs, the cheats, the tricksters, they laughed at the gullible priest. They knew their job was done. They quickly went around, caught the goat, and were happy to feast on it. Now, the moral of this story is quite simple actually. The priest got carried away or almost influenced based on what others told him. He had all the reasons to know, believe, and be sure and certain that the animal on his back was a goat. However, he got carried away by what others had to say. And really the moral here is, don't be fooled by those who want to take advantage of you. Many a time you will come across people who will not appreciate for what you are, what you do, the real worth of your work, the real worth of the projects you deliver. But that's their perspective. That's their lookout. That's the way they see things. Another moral of the story here which sticks out for me over the years when I look back is, I think we all should remember not to quarrel with weak men, especially when they're united. Because when they're united, it's difficult to defeat them. A friend of mine recently used an analogy saying, how a deadly snake becomes prey to a united army of ants. And that's why we all must have this word of caution in our head. How much do we heed the feedback we receive? Is the feedback coming from the sources that we trust? Do we validate that feedback? Are there reasons why we challenge our own understanding of matters? And there are a million such questions. I'll leave you with that thought. And remember this goat story every time you get perplexed about a decision which you know in your gut, which you know in your heart is correct decision, is the correct outcome, is the correct inference that you are drawing. And I hope this story will stick out in your head every time you come across on the crossroads where you can't make up your mind based on the circumstances, the feedback from the people, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and that this story will allow you to make the decision which is best for you. Thank you so much for listening in. I'm delighted we are connected here, and that you're offering me this opportunity to share my learnings, my lessons, and my way of dealing with challenges in life as we wind down 2020 and ring in New Year 2021. Sending you all lots and lots of love, positive vibes, and great energy. I will speak to you soon tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye, be good, have a beautiful day ahead. This is Charul Jaitly signing out now.